Good morning. My name is Tony Gonzalez. I'm the judge of the Roxy Municipal Court. Today's date is December 7th, 2021, and we are on the record. These proceedings are being streamed live via YouTube, and we are also on conducting the hearings via Zoom. If anyone's driving, I would please ask that you please pull over for the proceedings, as we're not allowed to conduct these proceedings with anyone driving a vehicle. So, Mr. Gonzalez, I don't know if you're the one driving or not, but if you're driving, if you can pull over. We're going to be having two dockets today. The first docket's the arraignment docket. The second docket is the show cause docket. I ask that you be patient. Right now, we just have two people here, so if it remains this way, it should go pretty fast. Some things I need to let you know. These are Class C misdemeanors with fines that normally do not exceed $500. You have the right to have a jury of your peers. You can waive your right to a trial by jury. You can have a trial by the court, which is me. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will not be appointed to you, because once again, there is no chance of jail time in these cases. But an attorney can help you understand the law, can help you understand procedure, and can help you make decisions regarding your case. As you sit here today, you are innocent until proven guilty. So you have the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You don't have to testify in your case against yourself. It is the state's burden to prove their case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Some other things I'm going to let you know, there are consequences beyond this courtroom. For instance, if you are cited for having no insurance, you could have surcharges from the state of Texas. If you have a question whether your particular charge can result in surcharges, I strongly suggest you consult an attorney. If you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could also affect your status in the United States. So once again, I would strongly suggest you consult an attorney. If you find yourself in a position, if you are ordered to pay a fine and court cost and are unable to meet that obligation, there are alternative means to paying. If you find yourself in that position, you notify the court, we'll give you an application, then we'll hear your case. If you qualify, you can do an extended payment plan, you can do community service, or a combination of those things. Any questions before I go on? Okay.
No.
In addition, I'm going to let you know how this is going to work. So I'm going to call your case, ask you to raise your right hand, swear you in. After I swear you in, I'm going to let you know what you're charged with. Then I'm going to ask you, how do you plead? You're going to have three choices. You can plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest. If you plead guilty or no contest, then the case will go to punishment, where I will assess a punishment. A plea of guilty and a plea of no contest are essentially the same thing, in that I will find you guilty. The only difference is that if you plead no contest, what you're telling the court is that you're not saying you did it, you're not saying you didn't do it, you're just not contesting the matter, and you're telling the court that there is enough evidence before the court to substantiate a finding of guilt. Where does this come into play? For instance, if you're in a car wreck, you get a citation. In the civil proceeding, if you plead guilty, they can use that as proof of liability. If you plead no contest, they cannot use it. If you plead not guilty, then your matter is going to be set for pretrial. And if you're unable to work your case out at pretrial, then it'll be set for trial. At the pretrial hearing, it'll be conducted the same way. There will be a prosecutor present. The prosecutor is Mr. Isasi will be here to speak to you if you so choose, to try to negotiate your case. A number of things can happen. He can offer a plea bargain agreement, which he will then present to the court for approval. If you feel that you have a valid defense or a valid excuse, and if the prosecutor agrees with you, he actually has the ability to dismiss the case. A lot of people are under the assumption that they can come to court and tell the judge what they have to tell them, and that the judge has the ability to dismiss the case. And that's not the case. I can do what are called compliance dismissals. For instance, you get a ticket for having defective equipment. If you fix it within a certain amount of time, I have the ability to dismiss the case. There's a few other things where I'm able to do that, but it's very limited. So meeting with the prosecutor is your best opportunity to try to get your case resolved, okay? If you're unable to resolve your case, then your case will be set for trial. You have the choice to have a trial before the jury or a trial before the court, and you will have your day in court. Okay, any questions before I call the first case?
No.
Okay. Court calls cause number 2111002-586, State of Texas versus Roberto Gonzalez Jr.
I'm right here, Your Honor. I just can't see you.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, there you are.
Okay, I can see you now.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Gonzalez, you are charged with the offense of assault by contact causing family violence alleged to have occurred on or about the 17th day of November 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas, where the complaining witness is Maribel Martinez. Are you aware of that charge?
Yes, sir.
And you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm required by law to read you an admonishment before going any further. If you are convicted of a misdemeanor offense involving violence where you are or were a spouse, intimate partner, parent, or guardian of the victim, or are or were involved in another similar relationship with the victim, it may be unlawful for you to possess or purchase a firearm, including a handgun, a long gun, or ammunition pursuant to federal law under 18 U.S.C. section 922 G9 or section 46.04 of the Texas Penal Code. If you have any questions whether these laws make it illegal for you to access or purchase a firearm, you should consult an attorney. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez. So once again, you're charged with the offense of assault family violence alleged to have occurred on or about November 17th, 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. As to the charge, how do you plead?
You said something about I can consult the district attorney or something like that?
Yeah, if you plead not guilty, then you can speak to the prosecutor, who's Mr. Sassi, at the pretrial hearing of the case. If you're able to resolve your case at that time, then the case will be over with.
Okay, so if I plead not guilty or no contest, the same thing, and I can still speak to the prosecutor?
No, only if you plead not guilty. If you plead
Only, but
if you plead no contest, then that's going to be a finding of guilt.
okay, so if I plead not guilty, then I can speak to the prosecutor, and then I can negotiate something with them and come back with you,
Yes, sir.
and then something can be negotiated.
Yes, sir.
Then that's the route I want to take, Your Honor.
Okay, then, Mr. Gonzalez, I have you. It is your choice to plead not guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if you have to have a trial, Mr. Gonzalez, do you want it before the court or before a jury?
Before the court, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, we're going to set this matter for pretrial. You'll be receiving a notice via mail. If you can, Mr. Gonzalez, either today or tomorrow, if you can come by the court and sign off on the paperwork where you're pleading not guilty.
Yes, sir. And then they'll let me know when I'm going to speak to the prosecutor.
Yeah, you'll get a notice in the mail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gonzalez, let me have a phone number for you.
361-444-8377.
Okay, and you're still at, let me see here. What's your address, Mr. Gonzalez?
Your Honor, I didn't hear you.
What's your address?
I have 214 South 3rd Street, Robstown, Texas, 78380.
214, okay. They had you down for 213. Make that correction. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, if you can just come to the court, you get a chance, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you.
Sir, can I get your name?
Tristan Ramirez.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, you are charged with the offense of assault by contact, family violence, alleged to have occurred on or about the 23rd day of April, 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas, where the alleged victim is Samantha Reina. Are you
Yes.
aware of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, I'm required by law to read you the following admonishment before you enter in your plea. If you are convicted of a offense involving violence where you are or were a spouse, intimate partner, parent, or guardian of the victim, or are or were involved in another similar relationship with the victim, it may be unlawful for you to possess or purchase a firearm, including a handgun or long gun or any ammunition pursuant to federal law 18 U.S.C. section 922 G9 or section 46.04B of the Texas Penal Code. If you have any questions whether these laws make it illegal for you to access or purchase a firearm, you should consult an attorney. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, as to the charge of assault by contact, family violence alleged to have occurred on or about April 23rd, 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. As to that charge, how do you plead?
If I plead no contest or guilty, does that go on to my record?
It sure does. It has the potential of being on your permanent record, and it's a family violence deal. If you want to speak to a prosecutor, you probably heard me speak to the other individual.
Yes, sir.
You would plead not guilty. You can always change your plea later, but that way you get an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor and see if there's anything you can negotiate.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and do not guilty.
I'm sorry, you want to do what?
Not guilty.
Okay. If you have to have a trial, do you want a trial before the court or before the jury?
Court.
Okay.
I do have a question though.
Okay, hold on
They
real
said that
quick.
I had a. Yes, sir.
Hold on real quick. You got another charge, okay? All right, Mr. Ramirez, you are also charged with the offense of failure to appear alleged to have occurred on or about June 30th, 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. Are you aware of that charge?
I just became aware of that like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, that's where you were supposed to appear initially back you got the charge in April, you were supposed to appear in June.
Yes, sir, because I have another felony. I have felony charges from the same incident, but it just happened at a different time. That's why I was confused, and I thought it happened I thought that was for this court date, you know?
Okay, I don't know what's going on in the felony courts, but you probably were, if you let the prosecutor know that you have those pending charges, a lot of times they will wait until those charges get resolved.
Okay.
So that you don't give up any rights in those cases, okay? So as to the charge of failure to appear alleged to have occurred on or about June 30th, 2021 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas, I imagine you also want to plead not guilty to that so you can speak to the prosecutor?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ramirez, you will be receiving a notice by mail. Oh, and are you also waiving a jury trial on this one and want to go before the court if you have to?
Yes.
Okay. I need to verify your address, Mr. Ramirez. What's your address?
813 Gonzalez Street. I just moved like yesterday. So.
Oh, okay, give me that address again.
813 Gonzalez.
And that's here in Robstown, right?
Yes.
And can you give me a phone number, please?
My phone number is 361-695-1253.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, I need you to come by the courtroom by this afternoon or at the latest tomorrow to sign up your plea paperwork.
Okay, where's that at? exactly?
It's in Robstown. It's at City Hall on Main Street.
Okay. I got a question though. I had warrants for the fair to appear. Is that gonna still be a warrant or no?
Yeah, the warrant is you appeared today, so the warrant will be taken off.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. You have any questions before I let you go?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Court calls cause number 21110028855, State of Texas versus Miguel Alanis. Miguel Alanis. Let the record reflect that Mr. Alanis's name was called out 2 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028826, State of Texas versus Rodolfo Cantu. Rodolfo Cantu, let the record reflect that Mr. Cantu's name was called out 2 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028822, State of Texas versus Peter Hernandez. Peter Hernandez, let the record reflect that Mr. Hernandez's name was called out 2 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028821, State of Texas versus Alfredo Martinez Jr. Alfredo Martinez Jr. Let the record reflect that Mr. Martinez Jr.'s name was Alfredo Martinez Jr.'s name was called out 2 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028823, State of Texas versus Rudy Cantu. Rudy Cantu. Rudy Cantu. Let the record reflect that Mr. Cantu's name was called out 3 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028825, State of Texas versus Lino Moreno Jr. the third, Lino Moreno Jr. the third, Lino Moreno Jr. the third. Let the record reflect that Mr. Moreno's name was called out 3 times and he did not appear. Court calls cause number 21110028824, State of Texas versus Lance Rodriguez. Lance Rodriguez. Let the record reflect that Mr. Rodriguez's name was called out 3 times and that he did not appear. And just to be clear, court call Alfredo Martinez Jr., Peter Hernandez, Rodolfo Cantu, Miguel Alanis. The time